Hey there, Danny here. Welcome to my ramblings. This is going to be a bit of a quick one again tonight. We have we have rainstorms coming through here, and my left shoulder and neck and lower back are bothering me again, which I was kind of told that would probably happen. So I'm not going to stay on long, but I did want to come on and say a couple of things. So. If you've been in a relationship with somebody who is manipulative or abusive or anything else, and you feel that urge that you want them to feel your pain, I 100% understand that, but I'm going to share a story with you, and I'm going to tell you the best way to move on. And so years ago, my second ex-husband disappeared. And I was working as a security guard. And I didn't know where he was at. And my world was upside down at the time. And I was the OIC, the officer in charge at the guard check that I was at, which was it was a wire company, but they had copper in the wires, so everything had to be locked down. There was major protocol to it. Anyways, there was this lady, elder lady. She was like 72 or 73, and she did not like me from the beginning, and I didn't understand why. And then, and at this point, I didn't know that I was officer in charge at this point. This was not any knowledge to me. I just thought that I was just a normal security guard like the other ones that were there. There's one of us on per shift. But she worked third shift, so I saw her every morning when I came in. And she did not like me, and I did not know why. Until later, I guess she got wind that I was officer in charge. I still didn't know it at that point. But she said to me one day, which was really odd, she had brought me some snacks or something. And she said, she apologized to me for being mean and not liking me, but she told me that she was jealous. And I looked at her and I'm like, jealous of what? We don't even know the same type of people. And she said, well, I used to look like you when I was young. I had really nice looking legs and I was tall and everything else. And when I was younger, I used to date my bosses or married men, and I would, she would basically blackmail them to take care of everything for her so she didn't have to. And I remember telling her, well, I would never do anything like that. I said, I'm not that type of person. And as I got to know her, I found out, and this was straight from her, was she had a son that when he was born, her mother took him. She was in her late 20s, early 30s when she had him. So she was an adult. And her mother took the son, and he grew up thinking that his biological mother was his sister. And at 72 or 73, she was living in his house, and he thought that it was his sister. He had no idea it was his mother. And as time progressed, as I worked there and I got to know her a little bit better, because after she apologized, she really pursued being close with me, which I still kept her at arm's length because, well, she already told me that she's not trustworthy. But I got to see firsthand how the choices she made when she was younger left her in a very lonely, cold place. The little girl, her biological son's daughter, which is her granddaughter, didn't know it. She couldn't tell them. It was a deep, dark secret that was going to go to the grave with her. And the man who was her biological son treated her like crap because he thought she was less than. And she couldn't even get the love and attention she wanted from her granddaughter because, well, her granddaughter thought that she was an aunt, not a grandma. And watching her go through what she went through and her loneliness, I had pity for her But I didn't feel sorry for her because she made her bed and now she's lying in it. And it sucked. But what it showed me was, and I held on to this while I was healing from that second marriage ending. I held on to, when they get older, they're lonely. And they're alone. And it's because of what they created throughout their life. And I can tell you that my mother was the same way towards the end. She was very alone. She knew why. She had a conversation with me a few times. So, when you first get out of that relationship, you are very codependent with that person. You are trauma bonded. And the best way to get over it, and this is going to be very difficult. This is not for a weak person. This is for a very strong person. And it's very, very difficult to do. But you have to stay focused, and I promise you, you get through it. One, you can't run from the feelings. You can't. You're going to ruminate about how they did you wrong and how you're going to try to figure them out. That's not going to help you. You're never going to figure them out because you're not like them. So you won't be able to figure them out. Because we can't get inside each other's heads. But you have to sit with that pain. And the biggest part, and here's the key, the main key to healing from it, is forgiving yourself. There's shame involved. There's a lot of shame involved for the victim. And to avoid that shame, it is what they do. They attempt to avoid it. You can't avoid the shame. You have to sit with it, and then you have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself, and while you are in the process of forgiving yourself, you have to focus on how you're going to recognize when these things happen again. So you're going to think a lot about each scenario when things were bad. You're going to think about how you got to that point with that person. You're going to think about those things. But as you do it, and you're learning to forgive yourself, and you're focusing on you and your healing, eventually you're going to forgive yourself. And what they did is on them. You don't carry their karma. If you stay with them, you will. But you don't carry their karma. You didn't do what they did. As long as you stay ruminating about it and bitter and angry about it and hold on to that shame, your karma's not going to be good. So you need to release it. And the best way to do it is to sit with it. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to smack you upside the head. There's going to be lots of crying, lots of anger. But when you get to the end of it, you learn to forgive yourself. Like Maya Angelou said, we do better when we know better. And once you get through healing and you start to love yourself and find your true authentic self, you know that you'll never get sucked back into a relationship like that again, because you can see it a mile away. And if you watch any of my previous videos, I give you clues. And I've been on a few dates since I started this channel, and a few before this channel, and I've shared those with you. You'll see it right away. But you got to heal. You got to heal you. And that's a very long, hard process. But again, like I said, I have my contact information below. Please feel free to reach out. I will gladly help get you through it. I'm not going to tell you what to do or how to do it. I'm just going to let you guide yourself, because we're each individual people. And I think the biggest problem in our culture is that we think one size fits all. But it can't, because we're all individual. And I think that's why it's not always, you can't always heal it, and you just keep going back to people that are the same way. I know that's what I did. I thought I was healed, but I didn't forgive myself. I didn't look at my part in it and how I allowed these things to happen, because when I look back when I looked back over at these last 4 years that I've been working on myself, I can tell you that I 100% can see that I saw signs. I just didn't. I just ignored them. I didn't want it to be true. I was in denial. And denial is the biggest thing that's going to keep you stuck. So you have to give that up. You have to feel your shame, and then you have to forgive yourself. And learning to love yourself and find your true authentic self is really, really, really helpful. And then you don't have to go back to it ever again and deal with it ever again. You've moved on. The other person, if they come and try to get you back into their life or whatever, you're going to pity them for the position they're in and where their life is headed. But you're going to know that you don't want to go back there, because that was awful to live through, and you have a nice, great life now. So, reach out if you have to. I'm going to take some icy hot and put some icy hot on and rest for a while. Hopefully the pain will go away. Anyways, have a great night, guys. Love ya.